Imagine you are sitting alone after a long day, but your mind is not resting. It is replaying a conversation you had earlier, analyzing every word, every reaction. You wonder, did you say something wrong? Did they misunderstand you? Are they thinking about you right now as much as you are thinking about them? Why do people spend so much time trapped in thoughts about others? Have you ever noticed how a single comment from someone can stay in your mind for hours, days, or even weeks? Why does the opinion of others feel so powerful, even when it doesn't truly change anything about your life? Let's take a simple example. Imagine you are walking down the street, and someone glances at you with a neutral or even slightly cold expression. Your mind starts making stories. Did I do something wrong? Do I look strange today? But what if that person was simply lost in their own thoughts? What if their expression had nothing to do with you at all? And yet, you carry that moment with you, letting it shape your emotions. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, a place where deep insights meet practical wisdom. If you find yourself overthinking about people, replaying past conversations, or worrying about how others perceive you, this video is for you. We will explore why this happens and, more importantly, how to free yourself from this exhausting cycle. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please, if you find this content valuable, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps us grow and bring you more wisdom. And don't forget, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective matters. Overthinking about others is not just a habit, it is a trap. The more you engage with these thoughts, the deeper you sink. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like a restless ocean. If left uncontrolled, it keeps creating waves of unnecessary suffering. But just like the ocean, the mind can become calm when we learn to let go. The first step is recognizing that overthinking does not change reality. It only changes your experience of it. If someone truly cares about you, they will not be affected by a single word or action. And if they do not, then why waste your energy analyzing their opinions? The problem is not with them. It is with the weight you give to their presence in your mind. Many people believe that overthinking is a sign of intelligence or deep sensitivity. But in truth, it is often just a sign of attachment. The more we attach ourselves to the idea of pleasing others, the more we become prisoners of their thoughts, whether real or imagined. Buddhism teaches that attachment leads to suffering, not because caring about others is wrong, but because caring too much makes us lose our own peace. Think about it. How many times have you spent sleepless nights worrying about something that, in the end, didn't even matter? How many moments of joy have been stolen by unnecessary worry? What if, instead of overthinking, you trained your mind to simply observe and let go? In Buddhist teachings, there is a concept called shunyata, or emptiness. It reminds us that most of our suffering comes not from reality itself, but from the meaning we attach to it. When we stop attaching unnecessary importance to every interaction, we realize that thoughts are just passing clouds. They come, they go, and they only stay if we hold on to them. This does not mean we should stop caring about others. It simply means we should stop overburdening ourselves with thoughts that serve no purpose. Imagine living with a mind that is light, free, and unbothered. A mind that does not need constant reassurance from others to feel at peace. This is what true mental freedom looks like. In the next part, we will dive deeper into why attachment to people's opinions creates suffering and how to break free from this invisible prison. Stay with us on this journey. It may just change the way you see your own mind forever. The illusion of attachment and expectations. Sit down for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of your own thoughts. Are they heavy? Are they filled with the faces, words, and actions of others? If so, you are not alone. The mind clings to people, to their opinions, to their presence, even when they are not here. But why? The truth is, attachment is an illusion. You believe you need someone's approval to feel complete. You believe that if someone does not respond the way you expect, something is wrong. But in reality, nothing is missing, except your understanding of this illusion. Think about a time when someone disappointed you. Maybe they ignored your message. Maybe they didn't show the same excitement you did. Maybe they walked away without looking back. Your mind started racing. Why did they do that? Did I do something wrong? And in that moment, the illusion of attachment tightened its grip on you. But ask yourself, if their response had been different, would your mind have stopped? No, it would have found something else to cling to. This is the nature of attachment. It never lets you rest. Buddha once said, attachment leads to suffering. But this suffering is not caused by others. It is caused by your expectations. You expect people to understand you the way you understand yourself. You expect them to value you as much as you value them. And when they don't, it feels like a wound. But let's look at this wound closely. Where is the pain really coming from? Is it from the person who walked away? Or is it from the meaning you gave to their actions? If a stranger walked past you without a smile, would you think about it all day? No. But if someone you care about does the same, it hurts. Why? Because of attachment. Attachment convinces you that people belong to you, that they should behave a certain way, that they should always meet your expectations. And when they don't, you feel betrayed. But who created this rule? Did they promise to act the way you imagined? Or did your mind build that expectation on its own? Imagine you are holding a handful of sand. If you clutch it tightly, trying to keep it all, the grains slip through your fingers. But if you keep your hand open, the sand stays. This is how relationships work. The more you hold on, the more you push people away. But when you let go of control, you find peace. Letting go does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold or distant. It means you stop demanding that others behave a certain way to make you feel secure. It means you accept people as they are, without forcing them into the shape of your expectations. Many people believe that if they stop expecting, they will become indifferent. But indifference and detachment are not the same. Indifference is a cold heart. Detachment is a free heart. One pushes people away. The other allows them to come and go without pain. Ask yourself, how many times have you felt hurt, not because of what someone did, but because of what you thought they should have done? This is where suffering is born, not in reality, but in expectation. Buddha compared attachment to a flame. It burns bright, but it also burns everything around it. If you feed the fire with expectations, it will grow until it consumes you. But if you let it be, if you do not add fuel, it will settle into a peaceful glow. Think about the most peaceful moments in your life. Were they filled with thoughts of what others should do? Or were they moments when you simply existed, without worrying, without expecting, without needing? Now, imagine carrying that peace with you always. Imagine walking through life without being shaken by every reaction, every word, every silence. This is freedom. This is the end of attachment. And it is possible. In the next part, we will go even deeper into the silent burden of seeking validation and why breaking free from it is the key to true peace. Let me tell you a secret. The mind is like a thirsty traveler in the desert. It searches for water, desperate and restless, but often it chases mirages. One of the biggest mirages it runs after is validation from others. The more you seek it, the more lost you become. Have you ever noticed how much of your energy is spent wondering what others think of you? A single compliment lifts your spirits, while one careless remark makes you doubt yourself. Why does it matter so much? Why do the words and opinions of others have such power over your peace? It is because you have been taught, since childhood, that your worth depends on how others see you. If they praise you, you are good. If they criticize you, you are not. And so, without realizing it, you hand over the key to your happiness to other people. People who may not even think about you as much as you think about them. Imagine you are walking through a crowded marketplace. Voices rise and fall around you. Some sellers call you in with sweet words. Others ignore you completely. Do you stop at every stall, reacting to every voice? If you did, you would never reach your destination. The mind is the same. Every passing opinion is like a voice in that marketplace. If you stop for each one, you lose your own path. A person who seeks constant validation is like a tree with weak roots. A strong wind comes, and they bend, break, and fall. But a person who understands their own worth stands firm, like a mountain. Praise or criticism, love or rejection, it all comes and goes like the wind, but the mountain remains still. But how can one reach this state? The first step is to see the pattern. Look at your thoughts. How many times a day do you seek approval? When you post a picture, do you wait for the likes? When you speak, do you watch closely for reactions? When someone disagrees with you, do you immediately doubt yourself? This is the mind's addiction. And like any addiction, the more you feed it, the stronger it becomes. You think, if I just receive a little more praise, I will feel complete. But no amount of external validation is ever enough. It is like pouring water into a broken cup. No matter how much you fill it, it always leaks. Buddhism teaches that attachment leads to suffering. When you attach yourself to the opinions of others, you give them control over your emotions. If someone praises you, you rise. If they ignore you, you fall. You become a puppet, and the strings are in their hands. But here is the truth. No one is thinking about you as much as you believe. People are trapped in their own worlds, their own worries, their own insecurities. The person you are anxious about impressing might be anxious about impressing someone else. The one whose words you overanalyze may have already forgotten the conversation. The spotlight you imagine on yourself is an illusion. So why give away your peace for something so fragile? Why let your happiness depend on something as fleeting as another person's opinion? A single word from someone can change your mood, but have you ever asked yourself, why should it? If a stranger on the street called you a fool, would you believe him? No, because you know they do not know you. So why believe it when someone else does the same? What difference does it make whether a person praises or criticizes you, if neither truly defines who you are? There is a Zen saying, when the wind stops, the leaves fall on their own. When you stop chasing approval, your mind settles naturally. When you stop needing others to validate you, you become free. Think of a river. It flows without asking anyone for permission. It does not slow down because someone says it is too fast, nor does it speed up because someone calls it slow. It moves according to its nature, unconcerned with opinions. This is how one must live, flowing, effortless, free. When you let go of the need for validation, something incredible happens. You no longer fear rejection. You no longer crave approval. You simply exist, complete within yourself. And that is the highest form of freedom. So ask yourself, do you want to be a puppet controlled by the world? Or do you want to be a river, flowing without fear? The choice has always been yours. How thoughts shape your reality. Sit down, breathe, let everything around you settle for a moment. Now, ask yourself, what is reality? Is it what you see? Is it what you hear? Or is it what you think? Your thoughts are powerful. They shape your world, whether you realize it or not. If your mind is filled with worry, even a peaceful day will feel restless. If your mind is full of doubts, even the kindest words will feel empty. And if your mind is filled with someone else's opinions, you will never hear your own voice. Imagine a person walking through a beautiful garden. Flowers bloom in every direction, the wind hums a soft melody, and the air is filled with the scent of fresh earth. But this person is lost in thought. Maybe they are replaying an argument. Maybe they are thinking about what someone else said. Maybe they are wishing for something different. And so, they walk through beauty but never see it. They breathe in freshness but never feel it. The garden is real, but to them, it does not exist. This is what the mind does. It creates a world inside, and that world can either be peaceful or painful. The real question is, who is in control? Do you shape your thoughts, or do your thoughts shape you? Buddha once said, what you think, you become. These are not just words. This is truth. If your mind clings to anger, you become angry. If your mind clings to sadness, you become sad. And if your mind clings to what others think, you become a prisoner of their words. Consider this. You see two people laughing across the room. Your mind whispers, they are laughing at me. And suddenly, your mood shifts. You feel embarrassed, maybe even defensive. But were they really talking about you? Or was it just a thought that had the power to change your emotions completely? This is how thoughts work. They are like seeds. If you plant fear, fear will grow. If you plant doubt, doubt will spread. But if you plant peace, peace will take root. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you water, it becomes. Most people do not see this. They live in their thoughts without questioning them. If the mind says, you are not good enough, they believe it. If the mind says, people don't respect you, they accept it. And so, they suffer, not because of reality, but because of a thought they never challenged. A bird does not ask if it is worthy of flying. It simply flies. A river does not wonder if it is flowing in the right direction. It simply flows. But a human being? A human being doubts. A human being overthinks. And in doing so, a human being forgets to live. Buddhism teaches that thoughts are just clouds. They come and they go. Some are light and gentle, others are dark and heavy. But none of them are permanent. The sky does not try to hold on to a cloud. It lets it pass. The wise person does the same with thoughts. So the next time a thought tells you, you should worry about what they think, just pause. Just watch. Is this thought helping you? Is it adding peace to your life? If not, let it go. Do not fight it. Do not fear it. Just see it for what it is, a passing cloud in the vast sky of your mind. There is a famous Zen story. A monk was traveling with a student. As they walked through a village, a man shouted insults at them. The student became angry, but the monk kept walking, peaceful as ever. After some time, the student asked, "Master, why did you not say anything to that man?" The monk smiled and said, "If someone gives you a gift, but you do not accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The student thought for a moment and said, "It still belongs to the giver." The monk nodded. "Then why would I accept his anger? This is wisdom. People will say things. People will judge. People will have opinions. But those opinions only have power if you take them in. If you let them pass, they remain with the giver, never becoming yours. Life is too short to fill your mind with unnecessary thoughts. The more you focus on what others think, the less time you have to hear your own heart. The more you analyze someone's words, the more you miss the silence within. And in that silence, true peace is found. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the thoughts that do not serve you. Walk through the garden with open eyes. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them, detaching from the opinions of others. You are walking down a busy street. People pass by. Some glance at you, some don't notice you at all. One person frowns while looking in your direction. Your mind starts racing. Did I do something wrong? Do I look strange? The moment passes, but your thoughts do not. They follow you home, lingering in your mind like an uninvited guest. Why do we care so much about what others think? Why does a single expression, a single word, or even a moment of silence from someone hold so much power over us? We live as if our happiness depends on how others see us. But in truth, the opinions of others are like the wind, always changing, always moving. If we chase them, we will be running forever. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the root of suffering. And one of the strongest attachments we have is to people's opinions. We want to be liked, respected, and understood. But in chasing approval, we forget something very important. No one truly knows us as we know ourselves. Their opinions are based on their own minds, their own experiences, and their own emotions. They are not a reflection of who we really are. Imagine a monk sitting by a river, watching the water flow. He does not try to stop the current or control its direction. He simply observes. This is how we should treat the opinions of others, like a river that flows past us. Let them come, let them go, but do not hold on to them. Do not try to build a dam in your mind that traps these opinions, letting them flood your thoughts. A person who lives seeking approval will never find peace. One day, someone praises you. You feel good. The next day, someone criticizes you. You feel bad. Your emotions rise and fall, not because of your own actions, but because of the changing words of others. This is not freedom. This is slavery to the minds of those around you. Think of a tree standing in a storm. The wind pushes against it, trying to shake its roots. But if the tree is strong, it does not fall. It does not question its existence just because the wind is strong today. It remains firm, knowing that the storm will pass. You must be like that tree. People's opinions are like the wind, sometimes gentle, sometimes harsh, but always temporary. You may wonder, but what if they are right? What if I should care about what they think? The answer is simple. If someone offers you advice that helps you grow, take it with gratitude. But if their words only create doubt, pain, or confusion, let them go. You do not have to accept every thought that is given to you. Not every opinion deserves a place in your mind. Silence is often the best answer. When someone speaks about you, whether in praise or criticism, ask yourself, does this change who I am? If someone calls you intelligent, does it truly make you more intelligent? If someone calls you a fool, does it truly make you less wise? Words have power only when you give them power. Learn to hear without absorbing. Learn to listen without reacting. There is an old Zen story. A young man once asked a master, "How do I stop worrying about what others think?" The master gave him a small empty cup and told him to walk through the village. Whenever someone gives you their opinion, good or bad, pour some water into the cup, the master said. The young man did as he was told. At first, he was careful, adding water drop by drop. But soon, the cup overflowed, spilling everywhere. He ran back to the master, frustrated. "The cup is too small," he said. The master smiled. "Exactly. Your mind is the same. It cannot hold every opinion. If you try, you will only overflow with worry and confusion. Instead, learn to empty the cup. So empty your cup. Do not let every word spoken about you stay in your heart. Do not let every glance or every silence create stories in your mind. People will always have something to say, but their words are not your truth. Their judgments are not your reality. In this life, you will never control what others think, but you can always control how much you let it affect you. Walk your path with a quiet mind and a steady heart. When you stop caring about every whisper and every look, you will finally understand what it means to be free. The power of present moment awareness. Stop for a moment. Just listen. Feel your breath. Notice the sounds around you. What is happening right now? Not in your memories, not in your imagination. Just here. Just this. The mind is like a restless traveler. It runs to the past, collecting regrets. It rushes to the future, gathering worries. But in all this running, it forgets the only place where life truly exists, this moment. How much of your suffering comes from things that are not even real? You replay old conversations. You imagine what others might be thinking. You create stories in your mind that may never happen. Yet, all this thinking takes you away from the one thing that is real. Now, Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only truth. Everything else is just a shadow. When you live in your mind, trapped in thoughts, you are living in a dream. And not a peaceful one. A dream of worries, judgments, and endless overthinking. But when you wake up to the present, something incredible happens. The weight of the world disappears. Imagine you are holding a heavy bag. It is filled with everything. Past mistakes, future fears, what people said, what they didn't say, what you think they meant. You have carried this bag for years. It has become so normal that you don't even realize how much it hurts. But what if, in this moment, you simply let it go? What if you stop carrying what does not belong to you? This is what present moment awareness feels like. A sudden lightness. A deep breath after years of suffocation. A return to what is real. Overthinking about others is a trick of the mind. It keeps you stuck in illusions. You think you are solving something. You think that if you analyze enough, if you replay enough, you will gain control. But in reality, you are only feeding the fire. The more you think, the stronger the thoughts become. And the stronger they become, the more they pull you away from the peace that is already here. Look around you. Right now, in this very moment, is there a problem? Not in your mind. Not in your imagination. Right here. Right now. Is there suffering? Most of the time, suffering exists only in thoughts. The body is here. The breath is here. The world is here. But the mind is somewhere else, lost in places that do not exist. It is like a bird trapped in a room, searching desperately for a way out, while the window has been open all along. Zen wisdom says, when walking, walk. When eating, eat. When sitting, sit. And above all, don't wobble. What does this mean? It means, be where you are. Don't let your mind wobble between past and future. Don't let your thoughts steal the life that is in front of you. Have you ever seen a child play? They are fully present. They do not sit there wondering if others like them. They do not analyze if their laugh sounded right. They are just there, in the joy of the moment. But as people grow, they forget how to just be. They start thinking too much. They start living in their minds instead of in life. But the good news is, you can return. You can train your mind, just as you train your body. Every time you catch yourself lost in overthinking, gently bring yourself back. Feel your breath. Notice your surroundings. Touch something near you. Bring yourself here. Buddhism teaches that nothing in the mind is permanent. Thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. But you, your true self, are the watcher of all these things. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts appear. And when you realize this, thoughts lose their power over you. Have you ever watched clouds in the sky? Some are dark. Some are light. Some stay longer. Some pass quickly. But none of them are the sky. The sky is untouched, no matter what appears in it. This is how your mind should be. Thoughts will come. Thoughts will go. But you, your awareness, remains peaceful, clear, and untouched. Overthinking about others is like trying to hold on to passing clouds. You cannot control them. You cannot make them stay. And why would you want to? Their opinions, their words, their actions, these are like waves in the ocean, constantly changing, never still. If you try to hold on to them, you will only exhaust yourself. But if you let them be, if you allow them to rise and fall without attachment, they lose their power over you. So what can you do? Start small. The next time you catch yourself overthinking, pause. Feel your breath. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me? Or is it just pulling me away from peace? If it is not helping, let it go. Return to now. Every moment is an opportunity to wake up. Every breath is a chance to return to yourself. The past is gone. The future is not here. What remains is this, a single, beautiful moment, waiting to be lived. Let go of the unnecessary. Free your mind from useless burdens. And step fully into the only place where life is happening, right now. Let me tell you a truth that many people never realize. Most of the suffering in your life does not come from what others do to you. It comes from what your mind does to itself. You overthink about people, you expect them to act a certain way, you wait for their responses, you get hurt when they don't care the way you thought they would. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why? Why give so much power to others over your own peace? Every person you hold on to in your mind becomes like a shadow that follows you. You wake up thinking about them, you go to sleep with their words in your head, you carry their actions like a heavy stone on your back. And what do? They live their lives, unaware of the weight you are carrying. This is the cycle of emotional dependency. You feel trapped, not because they are holding you, but because your own mind refuses to let go. Buddhism teaches that attachment leads to suffering. But attachment is not just about material things, it is also about people. When you depend on someone for your happiness, for your sense of self-worth, you are handing them the keys to your emotions. If they act kindly, you feel good. If they ignore you, you feel empty. If they disappoint you, your whole world shakes. But tell me, is this really freedom? Or is it just another kind of prison? Look around you. How many people are truly happy? You will see that those who suffer the most are not the ones who have nothing, but the ones who have tied their happiness to things outside themselves. One person waits for a message that never comes. Another checks their phone, hoping for someone's attention. Another replays a past argument in their mind, wishing they had said something different. All of them are trapped in the same illusion, believing that their peace depends on someone else. Let me ask you, when was the last time you sat in silence, completely at ease, without thinking about anyone? When was the last time you felt light, free, and unbothered? If you cannot remember, then it is time to understand what is happening inside your mind. You are not in control. Your thoughts are controlling you. And until you see this clearly, you will continue to suffer. Freedom begins the moment you realize that you do not need anyone to complete you. You do not need anyone to respond the way you want. You do not need anyone to validate your worth. The moment you stop depending on others for your happiness, you take back your power. You become like the sky, vast, open, untouched by passing storms. But how do you do this? How do you break free from emotional dependency? First, you must recognize that no one owes you the happiness you seek. People are busy with their own lives, their own struggles, their own distractions. Even if they care for you, they cannot always give you what you expect. And that is not their fault. It is just reality. The sooner you accept this, the lighter your heart will feel. Second, observe your own mind. Every time you catch yourself waiting for someone's attention, stop and ask, why? What am I really looking for? Am I seeking love, approval, security? And then remind yourself, these things do not come from others. They come from within. If you rely on others to make you feel worthy, you will always be at their mercy. But if you find that worth inside yourself, no one can take it away. Third, practice letting go. Not by forcing yourself to forget people, but by understanding that clinging to them only creates suffering. Imagine holding a rope tightly. The more you pull, the more it burns your hands. But the moment you let go, the pain stops. The same is true for your thoughts. The more you hold on to people in your mind, the more they control you. But the moment you release them, you become free. Some may say, but if I stop thinking about them, doesn't that mean I don't care? No, letting go does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop suffering. It means you love without attachment. You appreciate people without needing them to be a certain way. You stop waiting for them to complete you, because you realize you are already complete. A Zen monk once said, "You are like a man standing by the river, trying to hold the water in his hands. No matter how hard you try, the water slips through your fingers. And the more you try to hold on, the faster it disappears." This is how life works. People will come and go. Some will stay for a while, some will leave unexpectedly. You cannot hold on to them. You can only experience them, appreciate them, and then let them flow naturally. But most people do the opposite. They hold on. They resist. They try to control. And in doing so, they create endless suffering for themselves. They waste precious time worrying about things they cannot change, instead of simply living in the moment. They spend their days waiting for someone's call, someone's apology, someone's recognition, while life quietly slips away. Now, tell me, do you want to spend your life like this? Or do you want to be free? Do you want to keep waiting for people to complete you? Or do you want to stand tall on your own? The choice is always yours. But remember this, real peace does not come from others. It comes from mastering your own mind. So the next time your mind starts obsessing over someone, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me, or is it just pulling me deeper into suffering? If it is the latter, then let it go. It is that simple. And the more you do this, the lighter you will feel. One day, you will wake up and realize you are no longer trapped in thoughts about others. You are finally free. And that, my friend, is the greatest freedom of all. Let go. Breathe. Feel the air around you. Do you know what it means to be free? Not just physically, but mentally, completely free? Most people are trapped, not by walls, not by chains, but by their own thoughts about others. They hold on to words, memories, and expectations as if they were holding onto life itself. But what if I told you that true freedom is not in controlling others, but in releasing yourself? You have spent years thinking about people who do not think about you. You have replayed conversations, tried to guess what they meant, wondered if they respected you, if they liked you, if they cared. You have carried their words like stones in a bag that only gets heavier. And yet, all this weight, did it ever truly change anything? Did it bring peace? Or did it only bring exhaustion? Imagine your mind as a clear, open sky. Thoughts, emotions, and attachments are like passing clouds. They appear, they drift, and eventually, they disappear. But what do most people do? They try to grab the clouds, hold on to them, control them. They see a dark cloud and believe it will stay forever. But no cloud lasts. No thought lasts. Nothing stays unless you hold on to it. You must learn the art of non-attachment. This does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you become cold or emotionless. It simply means you stop holding on to what was never meant to stay. People come and go. Their words, their actions, their judgments. These are all like ripples in water. If you chase them, you only create more disturbance. If you stay still, they settle on their own. Many think attachment is love. They believe that thinking about someone constantly, worrying about them, needing their approval, means they care. But love is not attachment. True love is light, not heavy. It allows, it flows, it does not chain. Attachment, on the other hand, is fear. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear of being unimportant. And what does fear bring? It brings suffering. Look at a tree in the wind. When the wind blows, the tree moves with it. It does not resist, it does not fight. And when the wind stops, the tree stands tall again. But if the tree tried to hold on to the wind, to capture it, to own it, what would happen? It would break. This is how your mind must be. Let the winds of people's opinions, their presence, their absence come and go. Stay rooted in yourself. There is a saying in Zen, let go or be dragged. If you do not release your grip on unnecessary thoughts about others, they will pull you into suffering. You will be dragged through pain, through worry, through endless questioning. But if you let go, you rise. You become light. You walk freely, unburdened. But how do you let go? The first step is awareness. Notice your thoughts. Observe how often your mind is filled with unnecessary worries about others. See the weight you carry, and ask yourself why. Why am I holding this? Is this thought useful? Is it bringing me peace? If not, release it. Just like exhaling, just like dropping a stone. The second step is acceptance. People will think what they want. They will act how they choose. You cannot control them, and that is a good thing. It is not your job to fix, to explain, to seek approval. Your only task is to be at peace with yourself. And peace is only possible when you stop chasing. The final step is practice. Non-attachment is not something you learn in a day. It is a way of life. Every time a thought about someone pulls you in, step back. Ask yourself, do I need to carry this? And then, let it go. At first, it will feel strange. The mind will resist. It will try to pull you back into the old habit of overthinking. But if you keep practicing, a day will come when you will no longer feel the pull. You will be free. And what happens when you are free? You live lighter. You laugh more. You sleep deeper. You walk through life with ease because you are no longer trying to hold on to what was never meant to be held. The mind, once full of noise, becomes quiet. And in that silence, you discover something beautiful, yourself. The greatest peace is not found in others. It is found in you, when you stop tying your happiness to people who were never responsible for it in the first place. Let go, be free, and watch how life begins to flow effortlessly. The wisdom of impermanence and letting go. Sit down for a moment. Breathe. Feel the air moving in and out of your body. Now, tell me, where are your thoughts? Are they in the past, replaying old memories? Are they in the future, worrying about what might come next? Or are they here, in this moment, fully present and at peace? Most people live trapped in the past or the future. Their minds are like an old book, flipping through the same pages over and over again, never realizing that new chapters are waiting to be written. And at the center of this endless thinking is one thing: attachment. The mind clings to people, to situations, to emotions, as if they are permanent. But nothing in this world stays the same. Think of a river. You cannot step into the same river twice, because the water is always flowing, always changing. Life is the same. Every moment is new. Every person, every situation, every emotion is in a state of constant movement. But the mind refuses to accept this. It holds on, refusing to let go, and in doing so, creates suffering. Many times, people say, "I cannot stop thinking about this person. I cannot move on." But what are they holding on to? Are they holding on to reality or to a memory? The person they are thinking about has changed. They are not the same as before. The circumstances are not the same. And yet, the mind keeps replaying old stories as if they are still true. Buddhism teaches the wisdom of impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing is fixed. No matter how much you try to hold on, life will move forward. The tree that was once young will grow old. The hands that once held yours will one day let go. The laughter that filled the air will fade into silence. This is the nature of life. Does this mean we should not love? Should we not care? No. It means we should love without clinging, care without fear, and live without resistance. It means we should embrace each moment as it comes, without trying to make it last forever. When you hold water in your hands, it slips through your fingers. But when you let it flow, it nourishes everything around it. Love and relationships are the same. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pushing people away or pretending they never mattered. It means allowing things to be as they are, instead of forcing them to be as you wish. It means freeing yourself from the chains of attachment so that you can experience life fully. A monk once asked his master, "Why do people suffer when they lose someone they love?" The master smiled and said, "Because they believe they own that person. They thought the love was theirs to keep. But love is like the wind. You cannot catch it, you can only feel it. And when it passes, you bow in gratitude, knowing it was never yours to possess." How many times have you held on to something, thinking it would last forever, only to watch it slip away? A friendship, a relationship, a moment of happiness. Everything changes, no matter how much you try to hold on. But here is the truth. When you accept impermanence, you stop fearing loss. When you understand that nothing is truly yours, you stop clinging. And in that space, real peace is found. The person you are thinking about right now, the one who occupies your mind, they too are on their own journey. You may wish they would stay, but their path may be different from yours. And that is okay. You are not losing them. You are simply allowing life to unfold as it must. What would happen if, just for today, you let go? If you stopped resisting the natural flow of life? If you stopped replaying the past, stopped fearing the future, and simply allowed yourself to be here, now? Close your eyes. Take a breath. Feel the weight of all that you have been carrying. And now let it go. Freedom does not come from controlling life. It comes from surrendering to it. When you stop forcing, stop clinging, stop trying to hold on to what is already gone, you make space for something new. Life is always offering you something fresh, something unexpected. But you must have open hands to receive it. The waves will rise, and the waves will fall. The seasons will change. The people you meet will come and go. And through it all, you remain steady and free. This is the wisdom of impermanence. This is the path of letting go. Self-compassion, shifting the focus inward. Sit down. Take a deep breath. Let the noise of the world fade away for a moment. Now, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly cared for yourself, the way you care for others? When was the last time you spoke to yourself with kindness instead of criticism? If you spend so much time thinking about what others feel, what they expect, and how they see you, have you ever stopped to ask, what about you? Too often, people live their lives like puppets, controlled by invisible strings of expectations. They want to be liked, to be accepted, to be valued. And in chasing that approval, they forget the one person who truly matters in their own life, themselves. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises not from what others think of you, but from how much importance you give to their opinions. You are not here to be a perfect image in someone else's mind. You are here to be free. Yet, freedom does not come from ignoring the world. It comes from shifting the focus inward. If a person spends their entire life looking at their reflection in a broken mirror, they will never see themselves clearly. But when they turn away from the mirror and look within, they begin to understand who they really are. Your mind is that mirror. If you keep looking at yourself through the eyes of others, you will always feel incomplete. But if you start looking at yourself with self-compassion, you will see that you were whole all along. Think of a river flowing through a valley. It does not stop to ask whether the rocks approve of its movement. It does not beg the trees to admire its flow. It simply moves, knowing that its purpose is not to please but to be. In the same way, you do not need anyone's permission to exist as you are. You do not need validation to be worthy. The moment you realize this, a great weight is lifted. Yet, the mind resists. It clings to past judgments, harsh words, and painful memories. Maybe someone once told you that you were not enough. Maybe you were compared, criticized, or ignored. Those wounds remain, whispering lies in your mind. But the truth is simple. Those voices do not belong to you. They were given to you by a world that does not understand you fully. And if they were given, they can also be let go. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending that pain never existed. It means choosing not to carry it anymore. Imagine walking with a heavy bag on your shoulders. You have carried it for years, believing it is part of you. But what if you could put it down? Wouldn't your steps feel lighter? Wouldn't you move more freely? The weight you carry is not your own. It is made of expectations, fears, and self-doubt. But you have the power to release it. Buddha once said, "You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." Yet, how many people truly give themselves that love? They offer kindness to others, but deny it to themselves. They forgive others, but hold on to guilt for their own mistakes. They comfort friends, but let their own hearts suffer in silence. This is not the way of peace. If you wish to live freely, you must learn to embrace yourself with the same compassion you give to the world. Self-compassion is not selfishness. It is not arrogance. It is the simple recognition that you, too, are human. You, too, are worthy of care. The world has taught people to chase love outside themselves, but Buddhism teaches that love begins within. If you do not love yourself, no amount of approval from others will ever be enough. And if you do love yourself, the need for approval disappears like mist in the morning sun. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, yet feeling no fear. The wind howls, the rain pours, but inside, you are calm. This is the power of self-compassion. It is a shield that protects you from the storms of the world. When you truly accept yourself, no insult can wound you, no rejection can break you, and no judgment can control you. You become unshakable. But self-compassion is not just a thought, it is a practice. Every day, remind yourself that you are enough. Speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a child. When your mind fills with doubt, do not fight it. Observe it, then let it pass like clouds in the sky. If you make a mistake, do not punish yourself. Learn and move forward. The way you treat yourself shapes the way you experience life. If you are gentle with yourself, life becomes gentle with you. There is no final destination in self-compassion. It is not something you achieve and then forget. It is a path you walk every day, step by step, choice by choice. Some days, you may struggle. Some days, the old voices of self-doubt may return. But with each moment of kindness toward yourself, you take back your power. And one day, without even realizing it, you will look back and see how far you have come. Let go of the need to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion. Even the lotus, the purest flower, grows from mud. Even the brightest stars have darkness around them. You are not here to be flawless. You are here to be real. And in your realness, there is beauty beyond words. In the next part, we will go deeper into what it truly means to live freely without mental chains. But for now, remember this. Your mind can be your prison, or it can be your sanctuary. The choice is yours. Living freely without mental chains. Do you know what it truly means to be free? Not just in body, but in mind? Many people think freedom is about having no rules, no restrictions, or no responsibilities. But real freedom, the kind that brings deep peace, is something different. It is the ability to live without being controlled by the thoughts of others. It is the power to walk through life without carrying the weight of unnecessary worries. But look around. How many people are truly free? Most are trapped, not by walls, but by their own minds. They wake up in the morning, and before they even take a breath, their mind is filled with thoughts of others. What will they think of me? Did I upset them? Why haven't they replied? These thoughts become chains, pulling them down, making them restless, making them suffer. Buddhism teaches that suffering comes not from the world, but from the mind. Nothing outside you can truly control you unless you let it. No person, no situation, no opinion has the power to disturb your peace unless you give it permission. But that is exactly what most people do. They hand over their peace to others without even realizing it. Think about it. Someone ignores your message, and suddenly, your mind is in turmoil. Someone makes a passing comment, and you replay it in your head for hours. Someone chooses to leave your life, and you question your worth. But what if none of it actually had to affect you? What if you could live without these invisible chains? The secret is simple. Stop making others the center of your thoughts. Stop giving their words, their actions, and their opinions more importance than they deserve. Imagine a bird flying in the sky. Does it stop to worry about what the other birds think? No, it simply flies. It moves with the wind, free and unbothered. Your mind should be the same. But freedom does not come by force. You cannot simply tell yourself, "I will stop caring," and expect your mind to obey. No, the mind does not work that way. It is like a wild river. It does not stop just because you tell it to. It only slows down when you understand its nature. When you see clearly how useless some thoughts are, they start to lose their power over you. Here is something to think about. Have you ever regretted overthinking? Have you ever looked back and wished you had spent more time worrying? No. You always realize, too late, that the time spent trapped in thought was wasted. That is why Zen masters say, a thought is like a thief. It comes to steal your present moment, but you do not have to let it. Start by practicing awareness. The next time a thought about someone enters your mind, pause. Do not fight it. Do not push it away. Just see it for what it is. A passing cloud, a small wave in a vast ocean. Do not grab it. Do not hold on to it. Just watch it come and watch it go. This is how you begin to break free. Some people will misunderstand you. Some people will not appreciate you. Some people will leave, no matter how much you care. That is life. But your suffering does not come from them. It comes from your mind refusing to accept what is. The moment you accept, you are free. Freedom is not about cutting people off. It is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It is about understanding that your peace should never be in someone else's hands. You can love, you can care, you can connect, but without chains. Without making their presence or absence control your state of mind. Imagine waking up one day and feeling light, feeling free. No heavy thoughts, no restless worries, no fear of what others think. Just calm, just peace. This is not a dream. This is possible, but only if you choose it. Only if you stop feeding the thoughts that steal your peace. Your mind is your home, and just like your physical home, you must decide what enters it. Do not let just anyone fill your space with noise, with doubt, with worry. Keep it clean. Keep it light. Keep it yours. In the end, you are the only one who can set yourself free. No one else can do it for you. So let go, breathe, and walk lightly. The world will keep moving. People will keep changing, but your peace, your true, unshakable peace, can always remain. Mastering the art of mental liberation. You have come a long way. From the moment you started questioning why your mind clings to thoughts about others, to understanding how to release yourself from their weight. You have taken the first steps toward freedom. But now, it is time to master this art completely. Because true peace is not found in moments of clarity that come and go. It is found when you no longer struggle against the mind itself. Think about it. How much of your life has been spent in the prison of overthinking? How many moments of joy have been interrupted by unnecessary worry? The truth is, people will come and go. Their opinions will change. Their actions will shift. Nothing about them is permanent. And yet, we allow their temporary presence to control our emotions, our days, and even our sense of self. Why? Buddhism teaches that liberation does not come from changing others. It comes from changing our own relationship with our thoughts. A thought only has power if you give it attention. If someone ignores you, and you keep thinking about it, it is not their action that is hurting you. It is your own mind that refuses to let go. And if your mind is causing the suffering, then your mind also holds the key to ending it. Imagine walking through a crowded street. People pass by, some glance at you, some don't. Some smile, some frown, some don't even notice you. Does it matter? If you see them, acknowledge them, and move forward, nothing stays in your mind. But if you start wondering, why did that person not smile? Were they upset with me? You have already trapped yourself in unnecessary thought. This is how the mind works. It takes a passing moment and turns it into an endless loop of overanalysis. So how do you stop this? How do you stop overthinking about people and live freely? The answer is not in fighting your thoughts. The answer is in not feeding them. When a thought arises, let it come, let it pass. Do not hold on to it. Do not give it meaning. The moment you stop fueling a fire, it burns itself out. The same is true for your thoughts. But the real test is in everyday life. What happens when someone says something that hurts you? What happens when you feel ignored, misunderstood, or unappreciated? The instinct is to react, to defend, to explain. But a Zen mind does none of these things. A Zen mind does not fight thoughts. It simply observes them, like clouds drifting in the sky. It knows that nothing is permanent, not even emotions. So why react to something that will pass? Let's make this clear. Letting go does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means allowing them to arise, to exist, and to fade away naturally. The reason people suffer is because they hold on to emotions long after they should have been released. You were angry for a moment, but you carried that anger for hours. You were hurt for a second, but you replayed it for days. If you learn to let emotions pass through you without holding them, you will never be trapped again. The great Zen masters say, a thought unexamined disappears like a footprint in the sand. This is the key. You do not need to control your thoughts. You only need to stop attaching yourself to them. If you feel ignored, let the thought arise. Do not push it away. But also do not chase it. Observe it. Let it pass. See how quickly it dissolves when you do not give it importance. But this is not just a lesson for your mind. This is a lesson for your entire way of living. When you stop overthinking about others, you stop living for them. You stop seeking approval. You stop changing yourself to fit their expectations. You start living as you truly are. And this is the ultimate liberation, to be at peace with yourself, no matter what the world says or does. Now, before we end, there is one more thing. If you have made it this far, you have already begun your journey toward freedom. But knowledge is not enough. You must practice. Every time you find yourself caught in thoughts about others, remember this. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Watch them come. Watch them go. Do not get lost in them. And now, a final message. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So if this journey has given you even one moment of clarity, one insight that has helped you, take a second to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. And most importantly, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your words matter. Your journey matters. And remember, true peace begins when you stop looking outside and start finding it within.